Alright guys, welcome back to VALORANT News. The Masters Tokyo playoff bracket is about to begin in the coming 24 hours and lots of reaction again to the way the bracket actually turned out. Ardiis is not convinced that it was made entirely randomly, let's just say, but also loads of updates with rosters going on around the world, a Benji Fishy update, but also Loud scrimming Bleed esports and apparently coming up a little bit short. Very much intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. First of all, an update here on cNed. I thought this was, so we know that this is a pretty iconic clip now and also image as well of this moment that we saw at the event when he takes down the T1 guys and definitely lets them know, and of course now through to the playoffs to play Liquid in a series that is definitely winnable for EDG. In some ways a very difficult series to predict, right? I feel like Na'Vi had the same thing. Yes, Na'Vi were 4th in their region and Liquid won the entire thing, right, in the EMEA side, but we don't, like, Fnatic are still the favourites, right, for the tournament, despite the fact that they did come short to Liquid in the end, and they finally lost a series, Fnatic at that time, right? So Liquid are very good, and I would expect them to beat EDG, but you never really know at this point, and they're such a difficult team to predict, and I think at this point, though, the other teams will have had enough time to study EDG to such an extent that they might be able to kind of expose them a little bit, but we'll see. I mean, it's obviously very exciting for Chinese Valorant and this player specifically. However, there was this tweet here from Zach, and this is Zekken, of course, who mentions that Riot said they would take my soul if I did the finger guns. And this is always the thing with Riot, right? They don't really seem to like so much of the trash talk. Other esports, they don't mind it so much. But in some esports, especially Riot Games esports, if you do something which is considered to be a little bit aggressive, I think there's been some drama about this. What was it? The coach of one of the Game Changers teams, he said something across the stage and then he got like fined or banned or like something like that anyway. You guys probably remember that drama for a few months ago now. There was this moment, of course, with the cNed like sniper shot thing. And this is just good stuff. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with this at all. I think it's absolute fire. But, you know, Riot can have problems with stuff like this for some reason. And Zekken has apparently been told that anything like even finger guns type stuff across the stage is not allowed because it's unprofessional or whatever. But apparently this is fine. So it's interesting. I don't think that's necessarily hypocrisy from Riot because we haven't had anyone punished for doing the finger guns yet. But it is interesting to know that the players apparently have been told, no, you're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do X, Y, Z. But cNed does it and gets away with it, and you know, I think you should be able to get away with it, right? I mean, this is straight fire. Like, I think this is cool, but I'm just like hopeful this inspires more of a similar ilk rather than inspires Zekken to think, well, if I do it, I might get fined by Riot Games, which is not really what we want to have. However, cNed did top the numbers for top-rated players of the group stages of 1.22, just ahead of Ethan, or pretty much tied with Ethan, to be honest. Boostio, and then a couple of DRX guys. 4 of the EG guys are here, which is very impressive, to be honest. Obviously, the teams that went 2-0 would be more likely, but Smoggy's here as well, and cNed made the losers run, but in such a dominant fashion that he still topped the numbers. A couple of NRG guys, right, with Victor and Somon here as well. This, another bit of drama here between Loud. So there was Loud played Bleed esports in a scrim that went down, we believe, last night, and they lost said scrim. Now, it doesn't really matter, right? It's a scrim at the end of the day. It's for practice. It is a little bit interesting, right? Because Bleed esports, well, they're based in Singapore, aren't they, right? It's been an organisation that's been in the spotlight a little bit over the last season or so. Loud fly out there to Brazil, getting ready to go for playoffs. They want to practice against some of the local teams, and they get a scrim against Bleed. Not too much to say. However, Bleed then take the series dub, and look, it's a scrim. They played 3 maps, I'm guessing, and as Scary says here, so happy to have the opportunity to play with them, and tweets, well, puts this on his Instagram story, right, with the thumbs up after taking them down. Now, you know, look, at the end of the day, do we need to brag about beating a team in scrims? Yes, they are the world champions. And I can understand why you'd think, well, you know, just beat these guys in scrims. Let's make it be known. However, it seems Loud didn't take so kindly to this. This was the other one. Apologies, the quality is terrible because I think this all got deleted, right? So this is all we've got to go on, unfortunately. And I don't believe they actually leaked any of the maps. I don't think there was really a screenshot of the actual map in play. So I'm not exactly sure why Loud are as frustrated about this as they seem to be. But apparently they don't like any team, and you can understand it, leaking any of their scrims. Anything gets leaked from a loud scrim, they're not happy and they won't scrim you again. And apparently that's now going to be the case here. That's why all this has been deleted, because they're like, oh, sorry guys, we didn't mean to type thing. And apparently Loud are now going to say, yeah, we ain't scrimming you guys again. Unlucky, like you betrayed our trust in some respects, and now we're not going to run it back. In fairness, doesn't matter that much for Bleed, just because Loud are shortly going to go back after this tournament to Brazil, you know, and to the Americas side. So it's not like they were going to be a long-term, particularly consistent practice partner that is now gone for them. But still, when you've got the chance to play the world champions in scrims, you've got to take advantage of those opportunities. They did. They won this scrim. Congratulations. Doesn't matter that much at the end of the day. And now Loud are going to refuse to do so, it seems, for the coming weeks of the playoffs. So interesting storylines, I thought, from both sides. Also, rumours around what benjyFishy is up to. We heard the other day that he's decided not to play for the Ascension play-ins with Enterprise and is instead potentially going to go on to another opportunity. And that opportunity now seems to have arrived with Heretics as predicted. We know the drama there with Zeke. They need a replacement player in that position, and apparently benjyFishy's coming in. This is a verbal agreement with Team Heretics to be the new Valorant player of the Spanish team. He's expected to make his debut not at the Ascension play-ins for Enterprise, but instead of the EMEA LCQ for Valorant champion. So that's pretty cool stuff. Good to see it working out for him, and we expected this update, and it seems like that is indeed what is going on here. So potentially preparing for an announcement on that one over the coming days. Let's talk Masters Tokyo then, because lots of follow-up drama onto the way the bracket ended up playing out right now. Even something says from PaperX, DRX versus PRX 3 times in a row. They've played a lot lately, and I'm kind of getting fed up with this matchup. We are going to see it very soon. Now, does this tweet from him imply that he's there in Tokyo? We know that he tweeted this out, and apparently it's just bait from the head guy over at PaperX and whatever. Like, great punchline, I guess, right? But it is what it is. But something's talking about this. And in fairness, if you go onto the page here, PaperX versus DRX getting ready for the series they're about to play in 1 day, 20 hours as of recording, something is listed here. Now, I think that he probably would be listed here anyway. I don't think they would have cigarettes here necessarily yet, who I believe is going to be the replacement for something, but he is still listed on their match page as about to play. Now, I don't think he is going to play, and the bookies are definitely factoring in here the fact that he's not going to be there, and I don't believe that he is there. Like, if he was there, it would be a remarkable ton of events and like a double bait from these guys. But I don't think he's there, and therefore PaperX will not be going in as the favourites of this series. But it is interesting nonetheless that, again, this matchup is happening. I mean, it happens all the time, these intra-regional matches. And there was another one, Loud EG, and this obviously caused a fair bit of controversy, right? I'm very much looking forward to Liquid EDG, Fnatic NRG, but the other series leave a bit to be desired. And the way that it was working, right, is that they had to ensure that teams that played in the same group would not play each other again. But it was possible to do that and still respect trying to limit these intra-regional matchups, which I know, you know, some people say, look, well, randomize it, competitive integrity comes first. And sure, but even is randomization the best way to ensure competitive integrity anyway? Because you've got seeding and other factors in play. I think they try to do their best with that. But again, they've been known for making some questionable bracket decisions over the last couple of years, not just in Valorant, to be fair. And we've got matchups that have annoyed many people. I mean, we've got this from even Mindfreak from PaperX is like, are you kidding me? There's no way we're going to have this again. And this is what Tarek has to say.
Match. The bracket here.
Oh no, that's...
We're going to see Fnatic NRG. Oh my god, we got it! I want to go against Fnatic.
Loud EG. Oh, this sucks.
Okay, I just want to preface that me, and Kukuka were not informed about this, and me.
Bro, they need to swap DRX and EG.
The one I got straight away.
They have to swap DRX and EG. They have to.
It's gonna be insane for that to be the opening match.
I wish they did the drawings on stream though. Is this just random or how does it work?
And then Loud EG, an America's rematch there. I mean, EG was a team that has already taken a map off.
PRX and DRX again sucks. That sucks so much.
I just want to thank them.
I don't know. I think the best change here would be not that it would happen, obviously, it's locked in, but you swap DRX for EG. The thing is that there's lower bracket too, so I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter. Yeah, I think the main thing is just like these guys playing each other again. But then again, I guess we didn't see that recently. That was a BO5 over here. They just played.
This is what does confuse me here, and Ardiis makes the point. Why don't they just draw the teams live on stream? I don't know why they don't do this. Even in fairness, Knights Arena did this. They had the guy that was head of Knights. I don't know, there was some stadium in the background, and he put them all into like a bingo thing, and he spun the wheel, and then he got out the little team number, and he put it down, and he said who it was, and they drew the teams into the groups like that. And usually, this is how it goes. If you guys ever watch any European football or whatever, I'm sure they do the same thing around the world. But when they're doing the group draws for, you know, the Champions League, the Europa League, or for even the World Cup or anything, it's all done publicly, it's all done live, so people can know that it's not rigged. And okay, sometimes people still think it's rigged and they've, you know, deliberately chosen whatever ball, but whatever, at least they've given it a go. Whereas, and I'm not saying Riot have rigged it necessarily, but it does feel like the fact that they do this behind the scenes, we don't know what their thought process is, we don't know how they've come up with these certain matchups, and they're not drawing them live. I mean, look, there's only a certain amount of permutations they could have, because they've got to ensure the teams that come through the groups don't play each other, and they fall on opposite sides of the bracket and stuff like this. And then maybe they should add an additional requirement to say, well, two teams in the same region can't play each other round one, and if they were to do that, there's not many options left in terms of the way the bracket can look, in fairness, so maybe it's not worth drawing it. But as it stands, they don't have that additional factor, so there is potentially many alterations to how the bracket could be, so why not draw it live? And this is what Ardiis says, he's like, you know, why don't they do this so we know what they're doing, so we know that they haven't just chosen it, because you never really know. I think transparency is key. I mean, I'm sure NRG is thinking, well, we're playing Fnatic round one. I'm sure they don't mind it, because they did come through the group stages after all. I think it's expected they would probably play a team like Fnatic early on, but still, they might think, well, you know, was this just randomly assigned? Do we have to play the best team of the tournament favourites because that's how it is, or did someone actually make the call, right? Was this randomly drawn? We never really know. So anyway, Chet says, we don't stand a chance. Fnatic is poised to win this event, he says, try to get some sort of reverse Juju man here in play to make sure that they take them down. And even I thought this is pretty funny here from Marved. A lot of warm-up games, and you guys look insane as ever at the moment, about 80-20 NRG. And this is one factor, right? The warm-up games, and also the fact that Fnatic did lose the last series they played in the EMEA finals to Team Liquid. But Chet's like, look, stop, shut up, mate, and focus on the LCQ that is coming up soon. But this is the bracket. So 2 games go on tomorrow morning, my time, 4 a.m. and 7 a.m. British summer time. You guys can work out the times yourself from there. But Loud EG and then Liquid Edward Gaming, those are the first 2 games. And then the real 2 that I'm looking forward to be honest, is Fnatic NRG, especially on June the 17th in the morning, my time. It'll be late night in Americas. I'm sure you guys have already figured that out if you're over there. And that's how it's going. But very much interested to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.